Hey guys, today I want to talk about audio. Why? Because having great audio is extremely important when it comes to creating films. How important? Well, here's a 10-second clip from our recently released Office Fight video with the original audio. Quality, I know! Now, here's the exact same clip with the final audio. I'd say that is quite a difference, and the only thing that has changed is the audio. That is why today I want to talk about where you can find great music and great sound effects for your own film projects. The fight scene actually comes from our action short film called You Took My Credit, which was a fun collaboration with Jimmy America, Fables on Fashion and Violet LeBeau. If you do want to check out the full video, just click on the link up here and it'll take you straight to it. When it comes to audio, there are a large number of websites where you can find great free music and great free sound effects to use in your own videos. Incompetech, Machinima Sound, Freesound and even YouTube's own sound and music libraries are just a few that come to mind, and I will put links to all of those free resources down in the description of the video, so do go check that out. Most of the sound effects I use, I either record myself or I get them off Freesound. The reason I like Freesound is because, for one, it has a huge amount of variety of audio files. People have recorded anything that you can even think of, put it on there, but also it allows me to filter down the audio files to only show the files that are under the Creative Commons Zero license. The Creative Commons Zero license basically allows me to do whatever I want with the audio file, and I don't have to credit anyone. It's basically public domain, and it means there's no headaches for me in dealing with any sort of legalities. While I still use Freesound a lot, I have moved over more and more lately to using paid music packs and paid sound effects, and there are 4 simple reasons. Number 1 is sound quality. Professionally crafted music scores and professionally created sound effects usually sound bigger and better than the free stuff that people usually put online. Now, that isn't always the case. There's some great free stuff online, but all of the sounds that I've purchased are cleaner, they're easier to work with, and they just sound better in the end, in my opinion. Number 2 is accessibility. Now, I have a full-time job which unfortunately is not filmmaking, and so one of my biggest challenges is time. I found that it can take a really long time to sift through all of the free stuff online to find some good music and some good sound effects that really fit your project. Having some dedicated music scores and sound effect packs at my disposal makes this process so much faster, and for me that is definitely worth the money. Number 3 is copyright. YouTube has been getting much more active in matching audio to licensed music and issuing copyright claims against videos. Once you receive such a claim, it is up to you to prove that you have the legal rights to use all of the audio for the video. If you fail to prove that, you can get a strike against your channel and you can even get banned. Now, the problem with free resources is that it can be really hard to prove that you have the legal rights for a piece of audio that you got off some free website that may no longer even exist. By purchasing my music and my sound effects, I have a receipt and a license with my name that make it really easy for me to prove to YouTube that I have the rights to use the audio for my video, and the claim just goes away. Number 4 is price. Now, when I say paid, I don't mean you have to sell your mom's jewelry just to afford some sounds. Most of these packs are now well within the affordable range for low-budget filmmakers like myself, and there are some really great options out there that I highly recommend you check out. Some of the paid audio packs that I personally love to use is Pro Scores and Designer Sound from Video Copilot, the amazing gun sound effect packs from Film Riot, as well as their recently released fight sound effects pack and their scores. Another one I love using is the Audio Elite Music Pack by Creating Film, which contains over 250 songs. And I do want to take you through the contents of some of these packs to show you what's included, so that you can make up your mind whether it's worth your money. One of my favorite sound packs ever is Pro Scores from Video Copilot. This pack contains over 500 audio files in 4 different categories: epic music, layered tracks, editorial and sound design. You will find the core action movie soundtracks in the epic music section. In here are a number of subfolders splitting the epic music into different sections from inspirational to suspense. The big and fat action tracks are located in the massive folder. These are, well, massive music pieces, and I am sure you have heard some of these before in trailers or some of my own short films like Destroyer of Worlds. Let's have a listen to Dark Riders. Very percussive and very cool. Back up under Epic Music, let's check out the percussion folder. These music tracks also are very action-based but don't contain a lot of instrumentalization. It's mainly just the percussive elements. Still, they sound pretty fat to me, like this cool SWAT track. In the Power Action Loops folder, you will find a number of shorter action music loops like An Orange Planet. In the Suspense subfolder, you will find a lot of pretty dark and scary music. For example, Knives. Sounds like something out of a slasher movie. There are tons of less aggressive and more dark and just creepy tracks in here like The Masses. The last folder under Epic Music is Inspirational. Some of these pieces are a lot more uplifting and hopeful than the dark, action and percussion heavy tracks in the other folders, for example, Never Again. Let's go back up to the base of the Pro Scores pack. The second most important section is the Layered Tracks folder. In here you will find most of the pieces from the Epic Music section, but they have been split up based on the instruments. For example, in the Destroyer of Worlds folder, you will see 3 separate layers that, in combination, make up the final Epic Music. There's the choir and strings layer, the percussion layer, and finally the strings and brass layer. You can combine and mix these layers together in any way you need to match them up exactly the way you want with your movie projects. Let's check out what's in the editorial section of the Pro Scores pack. In this folder you will find all sorts of sound elements, drum hits and string layers that you can piece together to create your own individual soundtracks as needed. Under drum hits you can find tension building rising cymbal sounds or dramatic single drum hits. The Dynamic Keys folder contains all sorts of crescendos, swells and ending. The Miscellaneous folder as well as the Progressive folder do contain some rather creepy and disturbing sound textures. Check out Progressive 3. Not really your jog in the middle of the night kind of music track. Under Stabbing Hits you will find all sorts of very dramatic drum hits that you can use to underline dramatic or scary moments in your movies. The Strings folder contains short string layers that you can combine with some more percussive elements to build your scores. Finally, the Tension folder under Editorial contains some of my favorite elements for bringing a movie to some gruesome conclusion. Here you will find different tension increasing dramatic music pieces that will really get your heart racing. Under Crescendos you will find Andrew Seller. The last section of Pro Scores that I want to touch on is the Sound Design folder. In here you will find a number of different elements, for example some creepy atmospheres. Under Bombs you will find some big impact sounds. These are great for title sequences or really heavy low frequency impacts. Mammoth Hits seems very similar to Bombs in that they are low frequency impact elements with all sorts of different textures to them, so you can pick and choose as you need. Under Musical Effects you will, yet again, find another large number of rather disturbing sounds, and finally under Reversed, some rather unusual elements that will make the hair in your neck really stand up. I really love Pro Scores and it has everything you need to create action-packed, scary, suspenseful movie soundtracks. since we're already checking out all the Video Copilot stuff, let's have a look at the Designer Sound Effects pack as well. Designer Sound comes with 400 sound effects in 4 different categories. It does not contain music tracks per se, but individual sound elements that you can mix and match to your liking. The only thing that comes close to music is under Abstract in the Beats section. There are 20 short percussive melodies that you can use like Coffee Shop. I also thought Chase was pretty cool. Back up in the Sound subfolder, you will find a large number of rather random sounds. These are all recorded at very high quality, but this is a bit of a mixed bag with glass breaking, hot sizzle sounds, radio snow, or rain. This feels a little bit random, but you'd be surprised how many of these effects have come in handy so far for me. Back out under the Ambience folder, you will find some, again, rather creepy and dark ambient sounds, like Death March. Or if you're looking for something a little bit more mechanical, check out Pistons. Under the Impacts folder of the Designer Sound pack, you will find exactly that. 100 miscellaneous impact sounds. There's things like bell drums, impacts with some heat elements to them, and some of my favorites, these evil crack sound effects. Lastly, the Swishes folder in Designer Sounds contains 100 swishing sounds with all sorts of different feels and textures. There's delayed swooshes, flaming sounds, ghost elements, or metallic sounds. Now, Designer Sound is a bit of a random collection, but it does contain some really great single-shot sound effects, and it has come in handy plenty of times for me. I usually combine these sounds with other elements from other sound packs for my final audio track. Since we're already in the land of action, let's check out the awesome gun sound effects from Film Riot. Now, when I say Film Riot, I mean Triune Films. Triune Films offers their sounds in a variety of different sound pack options, and you can buy the same sounds in smaller packs depending on how much money you can afford to spend. This ranges from $18 for all the sounds of a single gun up to $180 for the Lord of War sound effects bundle, which I have here. The Lord of War sound effects bundle contains all of the gun effects, both the real gun sound effects pack as well as the Hollywood guns. Real guns contain high quality audio recordings of real guns being fired, and the Hollywood guns pack is a processed version of these sounds to make them sound fatter, heavier and larger than life. Let's dig into real guns first. The real guns sound effect pack is organized into separate folders, one for each gun, and there's a pretty large number to choose from here. Everything from an M249 machine gun, Glock pistols to pump action shotguns. If you dig into any of these folders, you will find at least 2 subfolders. One for Foley sounds and one for the actual shots. The shots folder contain, no surprise there, the actual firing sound effects, and each folder contains a pretty large number of variations, so you should be able to find something for any situation you require. There's different bursts, close-up bursts, as well as different firing sequences. One of the most difficult sound effects to find for free online are gun handling sounds, like operating the bolts and lids, handling magazines and the actual gun. And the ones you can find in the Real Gun sound effect pack are pretty amazing. Check these ones out. Multiply that by 20 and you have a full SWAT team ready to move out. As I said, each folder for the different guns contains at least a shots and a Foley subfolder. But a lot of them contain additional sound effects, like this one here for the M4 automatic rifle. There's a separate folder for suppressed shot sounds. Let's check out a few of those. There's a huge set of great gunshots and gun foley in the Triune Films gun sound effects pack, and I think I'm pretty set for quite a while. However, when it comes to gun sounds in movies, they often sound much bigger than they would in real life, simply to add some more emotional impact. For that, Triune Films has their Hollywood Guns sound effect pack. The Hollywood Guns sound effect pack contains the same folders as the Real Guns sound effect pack. However, if you dig into any of these folders, you won't find any Foley, but lots and lots of processed gunfire sound effects, like this massive set here for the M249. Check some of these out and listen to how fat they sound. If you're after really fat gun sounds, this pack is something you probably can't go without. I really don't know why, maybe it's from playing Doom as a teenager, but I really like these pump action shotgun sound effects as well. All you need to do is shoot an awesome film around these sound effects and you'll be set. Now, not all battles are fought with guns, and so Triune Films also has a sound effect pack for hand-to-hand combat called Fight Sound Effects. Let's check out all the cool stuff that you can find in there. The Fight Sound Effects pack is probably the most comprehensive sound pack that I have ever seen when it comes to smacking your friends around. There are gore and impact elements, designed impact, the core of the pack, and all sorts of dangerous whooshes. Let's have a look at the Impacts Design folder first. This is the core of the Fight Sound Effects pack, and it contains subfolders for blocks, body falls, grabs, kicks, punches, and weapon impacts. The blocks are great for hand-to-hand combat when you block off a blow with an arm or a leg. These are really quick but heavy sound effects and work really well within a fast-paced action sequence. Body falls is exactly that. But it's not just a few, it's more than 150 sound effects, and the reason there are so many is because there are several variants of bodies falling on all sorts of different surfaces. Bodies falling onto wood, tiles, plywood, leaves, or carpet. No matter where you want to kill someone, there's some body slamming into the ground sounds in here for you. The grabs folder contains a lot of painful sounding fast grab sound effects. Grabbing someone by the skin, the face, or more likely part of their clothes. You will definitely find something suitable for your fight scene in here. The kicks folder contains a large set of fat kicking sounds for really inflicting some damage. Kicks to the gut, generic kicks, as well as heavily processed Hollywood kicking sound effects are some of the great sounds you can find in this folder. If you've broken your legs and you can no longer kick, you may as well move on to punching your way out. The punches folder contains close to 100 different punching sound effects, and again, it's unlikely that there'll be a situation where you can't find a suitable sound for your fight scene in here. There's some really funny slappy punches here, some processed Hollywood-style big impact punches. I really like some of these gut bone breaker punches, and I did use some of them for our office fight short film. Then there's others like punching to the back of the head, or if you don't want to be that specific, there's some generic punches in here as well. Finally, to finish off your opponent, there's weapon impact sounds, and some of these really made me wince. Here's one using a 2x4. Or a modified version of the 2x4 with some gore elements. A baseball bat with some splatter sounds. Very painful. Or hitting someone with a table leg. This is a pretty huge selection. There's almost 500 different designed impact elements in this subfolder alone. Now let's go back up. Under the Impact Elements folder, you will find a lot of impact sounds with and without weapons. What I really like about these clips is that each clip is about 10 or more impacts in a row, so you can pick and choose which one you like best, and if you repeat the impact, you can pick slightly varied sounds to keep things interesting. Here's some punches to the gut. And some thigh slapping. In the Whooshes subfolder, you will find a large number of swishing and swinging sound effects, and these work great if you have them just before an impact sound. It really gives that crowbar or that punch some extra power before it smashes into someone's face. Again, there are many whooshes in every single file, so you get a whole ton of sound effects with these audio files. Finally, to round off the Fight Sound Effects pack, there are gore elements. These sound effects are actually all created by squishing, squashing or otherwise violating all sorts of fruits and vegetables, and they work amazingly well if you layer them on top of your impact sounds. Here's one, it's just dropping a cantaloupe. Imagine the image of someone having their head smashed in with a 2x4 to this sound. Breaking celery goes very well with bone breaking, and finally, I actually used the tomato squelch sounds for the death blows for our office fight video. They sound pretty damn mean if you don't know what they actually are. The Triune Films fight sound effect pack is definitely one of my favorites, and I already know I will be making plenty of use of it again soon. Finally, let's check out a music pack that does not only cover action and suspense, but offers 250 different songs across 13 categories for a price that'll blow your socks off. The Audio Elite Music Pack from Creating Film. When you purchase the Audio Elite Music Pack, you will get 13 different zip files to download, one for each category. The one thing that really struck me with this music pack was simply the diversity of categories. There's everything in here from cartoony tracks to fat action, from Arabian atmosphere to tearful violent compositions. Each of these folders contains somewhere between 5 to 30 tracks, and most of the tracks are a pretty decent length of 1 to 5 minutes. And the quality of these tracks is absolutely spectacular. Have a listen to the action theme. I also really like Hostile. And if you're looking for something with a bit more aggression, Approaching Overkill might be better suited. And here's where the pack differentiates from packs like Pro Scores. If you're not trying to make an action movie, but maybe the next Indiana Jones, without aliens please, you can hop into the Adventures folder. In here you'll find really cool adventure feeling themes like Island of Dreams. Or Just Right. There's lots of gentle background tracks in this pack and some chase music. I really like this track here, Diffuse It. In the Dark folder you will find some more suspenseful, somber and heavy tracks more suitable to horror or action movies like the Ghost Story theme. There's some more intense music in the Drama folder, but if you're looking for something a little bit more upbeat, a little different, check out the Exciting folder. I like the Starlight action track. Or, for something rather different, the Chinese Jeton piece stands out nicely. There's also some hip-hop music in this pack, as well as some inspirational tracks. Again, as opposed to Pro Scores, these tracks are actually all pretty uplifting and positive, like Honest Eyes. I also really like the melodies and the beat in the Prism track. Again, just to show you some of the diversity you will find in the Audio Elite Music Pack, check out some of the tracks in the Joyful category. A Christmas Miracle is very, well, suitable to a Christmas movie. Or if you want something plain silly, there's cartoony music like Cartoon Train. There's relaxed music, which is kind of similar to some of the background tracks, but generally a bit more uplifting. And then there's a lot of sorrowful tracks. I think there are some really well done and very emotional gripping pieces like Violent Mood. The Audio Elite Pack has come in handy in quite a few situations where I just couldn't find anything suitable in any of the other music packs that I own, and with a massive 250 songs, you really can't go wrong. Audio plays such an important role in getting your audience emotionally involved in your films, and I guarantee that spending some time and maybe even a little bit of money on getting good audio will definitely pay off. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do have any comments, questions or suggestions, just leave them in the section below. Please remember to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button up there. Hit that like button and share the video around, it really helps out a lot. And if you're hungry for more, you can also find and follow me on Facebook, Twitter or on Google+. Until next time, I will see you later.